everyone. Welcome to the Vegan Stew and Happy New Year. It is our first show, which is also our 51st show of the Vegan Stew, and we're really glad that you joined us. If you go to YouTube, you can subscribe and follow the Vegan Stew and Virtual Veg Fest and hit the notification button so you know when we go live. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, always put them in the box and we'll address them. Thank you to Total Body Lab for sponsoring our lives this month. If you don't know, that's Katya. She's been on the stew and she'll whip you into shape. So definitely check her out. And then if you like prizes, we've got 10 of them this month. It's gone up. I added one today, actually one yesterday, and I've added another one for February. So that's really cool. If you go to virtualvegfestlive.com and hit the contest tab, you can do this on any of our sites. You can win a prize pack from Terraseed, Hodo Foods, Veg Key, Cinnaholic, Fabulous, Bernie Wild's Adventure Sauce, Kathy Hester, Trupo Treats, Total Body Lab, and BV Kids. BV Kids, a shout out to them. They are a newest sponsor of all our events and festivals, and they will be presenting our Family Fun Zone and making it even more fun for all of you at the festivals. So, let's get this started. Let me bring in the stew crew. We got Sovereign. We got Marla Rose from Vegan Street. We got Kelly, Vegan Able and Climate Healers. We got Ellen, who's working a real estate deal. And is also the veg coach. She's your vegan realtor if you want to move to the Sarasota area of Florida.
We'll have anywhere in Florida, actually.
Anywhere in Florida. You definitely want to call Ellen if you're looking for a place to live. Big state, though, to go and show houses.
Called referrals. Actually, anywhere in the U.S.
Yes. Yes, that's true. As a realtor, you can get a referral referring somebody. As a licensed realtor, you can get a nice little thing for saying, hey, can you help this person out? And then you hope that person does it. So amazing. Our talk tonight, and Shayla will be with us soon, just a little late. And we're going to talk resolutions as our topic tonight. But first, we're going to talk about, well, I don't know if I don't think you're vegan or you're not on social media if you haven't realized what's happening at Target this week.
Right. Is that my segue? Yeah.
That's your segue.
I figured that was a pitch. Yeah. So as has been, just a few little indie sources. No, I'm kidding. It was shouted from every rooftop in the world that Tabitha Brown, the actress, influencer, who is basically everyone adores. Target just released a whole line of products from her that are all vegan, apparently. 40 of, I think something like 36 of the products, 34, 36 of the products are food items, from like potato salad to actually, I don't know because I don't have any, like different sauces and stuff like that. Tabitha Brown, being the beloved person she is, of course it broke the internet and everyone bought everything, and now all I'm seeing are pictures of decimated areas where the product should be. But the one thing I was going to say, and this continues to be a frustration of mine, is when these large corporations put out these products, apparently it's just for a limited time. So there's a huge run. Yes, exactly. As Ev Costner said, most of the Targets South sold out at once it launched. Is crazy. And there's no promise that anything's coming back. And I don't understand why they can't just invest in some market research and determine beforehand that these products are loved and enjoyed, and instead, they make it like a Hunger Games kind of situation with people. So anyway, I just, what are your thoughts about it?
So it's interesting because obviously I've seen a ton of posts, right?
Yes.
And one post, somebody complained about the sodium in the burger. And I prepared myself for that. Oh, here we go. Here's this person complaining about oil and soy and fat and whatever it is. However, they posted the sodium in that burger. And you know it was over 900 milligrams of sodium. I was like,
Is that a
that's
lot or
something to complain. That is a lot. That's 40% of your daily value in that one burger. that is actually irresponsible.
And that's
Mm.
if you don't
And you
have
have to
high
go a
blood pressure.
different direction. What was that on?
That's if you don't have high blood pressure.
Right.
Right.
'Cause you're not
Which
supposed
to
is
eat
a lot of
so that, I mean, I'm very happy for this. I have not run out to Target to get anything. I'm watching people try things and tell and like post what they think. The cream cheeses some have had positive reviews. One had like a negative review, but it might have been
Right.
something wrong with it. Popcorn is mixed reviews. The salads, though, the potato salad and the pasta salad are like people are raving about. There's sausages. There's, I mean, there's so many products that have come out from this line. Kelly, are they in Canada? You're on
Probably
mute.
not.
No?
No, we had one and they closed
Right.
down.
You guys don't even have Target anymore. You
No.
don't have Target. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Which is, probably good. But the point is, what do you guys think about when these big companies bring this vegan line, or even just like a burger or that for limited time? And a lot of times it's in a very limited distribution. Like, go to Cleveland week of January 30th, and what do you guys think about that? Does that irritate you like it does me, or no? That's not my
Well,
dog.
the reason they no, that's Princess. That's over in Ella's house.
Sorry, yeah.
Tell Princess to shush. Princess, we're
well.
live now. You can bark outside of this hour. But they do that to test the waters in that area to see how well it'll do. I don't know how or why they pick the certain areas. Hello, Stephen. Why are they picked the certain areas that they want to test the market? But for some reason they do, and if it does well there, then it's a high propensity or a low propensity, depending on how it does, that they'll put it out into different areas.
Okay, I have an idea. I have a thought that may be cynical on my end. I don't know. I think a lot of times they do like middle America, like some weird like town in Arkansas or what, I don't know, like whatever, just to see what middle America thinks of this product. Why not? Oh, I think they're doing it to get the advertising, the boost in attention, that everyone jumps through the hoops to promote, why not? To me, it's kind of a cynical thing to do. Like, why not just pour that into developing products that, the way that they used to do it was market research, take it to people and get their feedback before making some big launch that you're going to yank away from people. You know what I mean?
But that is their market research.
I mean, to me, it's like them getting advertising.
How is it the market research though? Like they're targeting these small towns where like nobody's vegan.
I know. It's exactly
and
right.
it does well, or it doesn't do well, because most of the country isn't vegan.
Right. Really? What?
So I mean, if you can do well in a smaller area, a city that has like an inkling of vegan or some understanding, or people are thinking more health minded, then wow, you don't have to. I mean, you're not going to go to New York City to test out a vegan product. It's going to do well, and if it doesn't do well, it's because your product sucks.
Right. Sometimes there does seem to be no rhyme or reason behind it. Like sometimes products you see like long lines of people waiting to try it, and then it's like, oh, sorry, we're not bringing it. So I feel like it's their way to get free advertising. That's just me.
Okay.
And I don't think
It's
we
so
should
funny.
jump at every chance, you know?
Let me see. Where's Susan today? Hi, Career Columbus, Ohio used to be the main place for test marketing.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So there's a reason. It's just I guess you know those Columbus, Ohio people are just ripe for testing. All right. So to jump into our main topic, which is resolution. So maybe we can like get this show done within the time frame which would be good. So you know that'll make everyone happy, I think, because it'll get us done by 8 o'clock. No, what time do we go? 7. So Middle America, Susan's saying. That's true. So you want to test on is Middle America. And if they rave about them, then you can expand it out to the coasts, which you know are the more progressive areas. So
I don't think that's
let's
the game
say
plan.
it's I mean, look at Burger King. We clearly have moved on. Look at Burger King. They're adding vegan.
Right, but they did it right.
Their menu.
They didn't just do it in one market for like a week, you know? They rolled it out like
that
just
for sure?
What's that?
We know that for sure. They didn't test it in a few markets before they put it out nationwide.
I
don't know.
Pretty sure from what I remember. I mean, like, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that's what I remember. But you would also think that with their deep fucking pockets, they could afford to just do it, you know? It's not like, you know, a bootstrapping little mom and pop shop trying to figure, you know. So,
True, it's
anyway.
still business though, you know, and you
Yeah, I
test
know,
things
but
out
still,
before you put them out.
Products come, products go.
We could totally spend Burger King Corporation's money much more easily than you know they probably will.
Okay.
All right, so resolutions. Good show. Do you make them? Do you keep them? My thoughts on this I want to put out is I understand why it's January and why people do that. It's new year, new beginnings, blah blah blah. However, here's my thought on this from this evening. If you care and love yourself, then a resolution isn't just in January. A resolution is to care and love yourself while you're around. So whatever that is that you say, I'm going to do in January, even if it's veganuary, doesn't matter. You can do that any time of year. Because if it's your health, especially, or exercise, diet, going vegan, saving the planet, whatever it is that you're deciding to do, be more organized, blah, blah, blah. Every one of those things can help benefit you over the course of not just every week or day, but your lifetime. And I feel like the reason why people don't follow through with their resolutions that they decide at the first of the year because you know there's so much pressure is there's a lack of love for yourself to continue forward, which is a very interesting thing to say. And I don't know if I wanted to say it exactly like that because you know when your brain and then your words are completely different. So I just want to throw that out there. 1, do you make resolutions? 2, do you keep them? And 3, what do you think about my thoughts? Anybody? Marla.
Well, I don't really believe in resolutions. To me, it kind of reminds me of Michael Scott in The Office going, I declare bankruptcy, you know, like, I declare resolution, you know. The science behind it shows that people rarely keep them. I believe in setting goals and making smart goals. And there are certain things that more predict success than others, like specific, measurable, those kinds of things. It's better to I was doing a little bit of research on the idea of resolutions today, but like rather than set new goals, you know, break old habits. Habits are easier to keep than goals. When you do something every day, blah, 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 or you attach a new habit to an old one to sort of try to carry it over, that sort of thing. I don't really believe in resolutions. We went vegan on February 1st, 1995, because I really don't believe in resolutions. But anyway, that's kind of me.
Okay.
That's my
Kelly?
Yeah, I don't make them. I understand why we do them. Like it's, taking that one time of the year to sort of self-reflect on yourself and try to be a better person, and then life always catches up and then we always just go back to the same old, so it's like, I understand the meaning behind it, but I'm in agreement with you, Marla. Like, I think you should just be focusing on bettering yourself every single day. I don't think you should I'd really like to be a more compassionate person. I'll wait 10 months until the new year and then I'll do it. Like we should always be working to be the best version that we can be of ourselves every day, not just on one day of the year.
Right. That was Helene's point, and I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of our society is just kind of like either or, just very like, I'm either going to binge all weekend or I will fast all weekend. It's like, but like, why not just bring gentle changes,
And they put so much pressure on you, right? So if you fail, then you might even be worse off than you were before.
Right. And that does happen, right? Yeah, that does happen.
Yes. Ellen, you work in the deal?
Yes. But I'll
Okay.
answer. I am
Okay.
actually. Yeah, I think it is important to reflect. I mean, it's just sort of human nature to do that. And you kind of evaluate. I mean, we do this in business, trying to evaluate what worked this year, what didn't, what do we need to do next year to improve. So, yeah.
Sovereign?
I agree with you. I think it's more like reflection. Yeah.
No, not necessarily. I used to be somewhat of a person who would be like, oh, this year I'm going to do this. Maybe there's just more. Didn't set any resolutions. But just kind of rather maybe just starting to more affirmations instead of resolutions. Affirmations, you can say them daily. Program yourself. Resolutions, if you fail at one, at least in my case, then that sets anxiety and panic. Yeah. And I'd rather not have that, 'cause that just sets things to spiral under control. So affirmations instead of resolutions for me.
That's really good. It's so much more kind.
Really good.
Yeah.
Ev agrees. Affirmations, yes. Because you can say them daily, you can write them down, you can continue to write them, you can read them, you can change them, because as things morph and change in your daily life, whatever that is, that'll help you get through what it is that may be a stressor in that moment in time. And there affirmations is another thing that can happen in January. People can do like a daily affirmation. They could start that, like flossing. Pick up a habit of flossing your teeth.
That's true.
If you do that every day, and then suddenly you're like, I don't feel right if I don't floss.
Right.
Which is what a habit is, which is what you mentioned.
Or wearing a seatbelt. You're not comfortable if you don't. Like all our childhoods,
Right.
We didn't wear seatbelts, and we certainly did. And yeah. But yeah, I do. this one particular affirmation every morning after yoga, and I just feel like it sets the stage for my intentions on that day, and it's adapted over the last year, and words have come out and words have gone in, but the general sense of it is the same. So mhm.
That's awesome, because also part of your habit is the yoga.
Yes,
Get to the affirmation,
absolutely.
right? If you skip one, you probably skip the other,
Right.
because one
That's kind of
comes next.
the whole idea of habit building, right? Is just, you attach something to something that you're already doing or already enjoy. And that's kind of like to put it in a vegan context, like say, for example, you're already in the habit of, let's say, for example, trying, instead of saying I'm going to, like, we know that the making a resolution like I'm going to eat healthy this year, that's just going to flop because it's too broad and it's too vague and it's not trackable, or you're not going to track it. But if you say I'm going to have greens every day in my smoothie, that's something you can do, and that's something that you can build on, and then you could just say I'm going to have blueberries and greens in my, what I mean, that kind of thing. That's much more likely to manifest in changes.
It's a really gross smoothie if it's just greens and milk.
No, it's not just those. Yeah, no, I have cocoa powder, I've got dates, girl, I got it all. No, I don't. But those are,
I
those,
know.
a lot of times people follow the things like the Daily Dozen or not the Daily. What is it though?
The Dirty Dozen. It's the
Yeah,
Dirty Dozen, which is
no,
not like the
it's
Dirty
the Dirty
15.
Dozen. We don't want the Dirty Dozen. We want the Daily Dozen. But so if you want those, you want to do better about eating those things. You already like smoothies, or you already like this or that. Smoothies are the perfect vehicle for that sort of thing. Just add them to it. But yeah, make it
That's
taste
true.
good.
Yes, whichever way you lean. If you lean the dirt tasting, earth tasting smoothies, then go that route. Clearly, that's
Not
not my
into those dirty
preference.
smoothies myself.
I go to the fruit side. I have been putting spinach and kale in my smoothies though.
That's good.
So
I feel like
what can we?
yeah. Mhm.
Good.
I was just saying, I feel
Yeah.
like I almost stress myself out with how much I try to front load my morning with all the healthy stuff. It's like yoga, affirmation, smoothie, all the kale, all the blueberry, it's like, myself. But I do try to get like as much of the healthy stuff front loaded so that I feel like I've started my day out right.
That's like exercising in the morning,
Yeah, I
as
enjoy
opposed to
all.
waiting until at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So to help people that are watching, because if you're watching and you've made a resolution and we're on day 11 of the year, have you kept it? Have you broken it? What tell us, share with us where you're at in your world. And I don't make resolutions. I guess I should answer the question. I don't make resolutions. I think people know well enough to know that I'm a goal setting person. I plan, but I don't plan. It's very unique. I like organic at the same time. Obviously, the festivals need to be planned, but not strictly done. But they have to have an outline, and I have to follow it because I couldn't do it otherwise. But for my personal self, for me, as I started, it's any point in the year where I could drop in or drop out of what I should do for myself. And, I went live with Dr. Campbell this past Sunday. And it's always a refreshing reminder when you're talking to someone who's SOS, no salt, no sugar, no oil, and it's truly whole foods, plant based, that you think, it's probably not a good idea to be eating fried chicken food or like all these things that are really just as horrible for you as fried mole chicken or fried, whatever. It's not like he didn't say that, but you glean what you do from a conversation. And one piece I shared, and I didn't know this, it is like 18 years ago, I don't know the exact number, over 10 years ago, was diagnosed with cancer and refused to do chemo. And that's kind of, I guess it's like a long time ago. That's when they really started eating like full on whole foods, plant based. And they told her she was going to live if she didn't get chemo and treatment. And she did. Now, this is an outlier. It's very important that you follow your doctor's advice or whatever it is when it comes to your own health. But the whole food, and most people don't eat whole food plant based. That's another caveat that I made sure to say, is how they eat, how the Campbells eat is not how the general population who thinks they're whole food plant based eat. So, like, are you eating oil? Are you eating sugar? You're eating salt. They don't eat that way, and it's a really healthy thing for your body. And I didn't. So you leave that conversation, you go, probably should be eating better, which is harder to do when you travel, which we travel a lot. And part of what we do is eat foods and share them with everybody to show you like all this amazing food that's out there. And a lot of times that food is fried. That food is donuts. That food is cake. That food is brownies. The food is just really horrible for you. And there has to be like a balance of, eating better and being more careful. And especially if you're at risk for your genes or make you at risk for, diabetes and heart disease and those types of things, which are in my family, cancer, which are in my family, which food can trigger those things to come out in you if you don't eat well. So
But-
I look at this and I say, while closing out, I look at this and I think, it's not a resolution for you in January. It's your life that you need to value and love yourself so that you do the right thing, whatever that is, in your work, in your relationships, your friendships, your health, your diet, exercise, whatever it is, to do that and to start that, whether that is tomorrow because you didn't do it on January 1st, or that is December 31st, or that is October 2nd, whatever day that is that you finally go, now I really have to do this for me. Do it. Go ahead, Marla.
Well, I was just going to say that I feel like, we've had this kind of discussion a bunch of times, but I feel like a bunch of things. But one is that if people choose to eat veggie burgers or kale salads, if they're not eating animals, neither choice is my business. I'm just glad that people are not eating animals. That's all that is my business. Like if people are eating animals, then that becomes my business because it's hurting others. It's not I have my own personal health goals. I have my own personal ways that I feel best eating, but it is no means for me to care. Like, why would I care if somebody else eats a veggie burger? I just simply truly do not understand it. Like, I don't get it, why?
That's not what I was saying, right? I wasn't saying that I may have used the you, but it's not you in general.
I didn't take it personally, but I do see vegans.
Right. No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to start going on my timeline and being like, you shouldn't eat that. That's bad for you. I'm not even going to post. I'm not going to post it on my own. But it's what I gleaned from my conversation with him. Part of what I gleaned from my conversation with him, because I learned new things. I've known Dr. Campbell for years. I've heard him speak, and if there was a new conversation. It was amazing. It's recorded. If you want to watch it, it's on YouTube. And what I'm saying isn't wrong, that any fried food is not good for you. You
Of
know,
course.
oil is not great for you. Salt is not great for you. Sugar, processed sugar is absolutely like horrible for you. Just like dairy is bad for you. Just like eating animals is bad for you. Just like it's bad for the planet. And I was speaking for me as opposed to for all of you. But if that helps you look at something and go, well, yeah, that's true. Maybe I should cut back on the fried food because it increased in obesity and heart disease and all these things, especially if you're genetically predisposed to these things. It's not a bad idea. However, like I said, I'm not going to police your plate. Just like I wouldn't want you policing mine.
Right.
For me to stay here, it doesn't mean that you won't see me at Veg Fest biting down on a future like fried chicken sandwich because they handed it to me and I was hungry. So
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that I've been vegan long enough to know that the dial on it did not move at all until we were trying to push beet burgers and bean burgers on people for 20 years, and it was like pretty much like no.
Right.
So I don't think we can necessarily get it that both ways, is in terms of like an increase in interest. I mean, let's face it, like the things that drop you, like, you were talking about the sodium, and was that on the show or before the show? I don't remember, but like the sodium in Tabitha burgers or whatever.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was the show.
Salt tastes good. That tastes good. We aren't we've been trying to sell people on them for, many, many years. So
It's really funny because I won't eat a beef burger because we go back to that dirt tasting food. I don't do that, but it's so funny. You have people who go vegan and they eat all the the vegan junk foods and they like eat the Impossible, the Beyond Burgers, everything that's out there, and then like they go through they just go through their world of veganism and they land on they land on I want a beet burger. Which is really funny. I want a kale salad. I want these things. What is I would say? Meet people where they are. Vegan meat, of course. Thanks, Evan. Shayla, welcome to the conversation.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Let's catch you up because I started this by saying with resolutions, and I know you just did a show on resolutions, so this is really fresh in your mind. I started this by saying that you shouldn't have to do resolutions in January, that they can be any time of year. And the reason why they need to be or could be any time of year is because you need to love yourself enough to be able to make the changes or goals or whatever it is you need to do for yourself at any point in the year, as opposed to January 1st. And then, hopefully care and love yourself enough to stick with it, however you do that. And we talked about habits and affirmations as opposed to resolutions, just catching up. So I'm going to throw it at you. Do you do resolutions? And what do you think about what I said?
I do not do resolutions. And really, studies show that for, 80+% of people that make resolutions by even the end of January, those resolutions are out the window. So it just, doesn't make a ton of sense to do one. I more so focus on setting a goal. And I even talk a lot to my patients and clients about setting a goal because there's certain things that are, different from a resolution to a goal. A lot of times with these resolutions, it's almost like dreaming, if you will, it's kind of, oh, I'm gonna, do this on January 1st. And first you have to think about why even wait to January, if it's really something that's important to you. There's nothing, magical that happens. Yeah, we celebrate New Year's, but there's nothing magical that happens from, the 31st to the 1st, at that time frame. But really setting a goal. So, knowing your why are you even setting that goal? Making that goal something that's actual, tangible, and sustainable. and not something that's just kind of fly by night. So, having the appropriate resources to know that are going to be able to achieve that goal. And those facets are really what's going to help you to more so of the achievement and of that. And it won't just be more of this kind of fly by night thing that we do with resolutions.
That's perfect. That's a perfect response. And where I was going, did I say these words or not? What can we do to help people to make these things stick, to make them work? Like, what's our advice to people to say, like, well, what has worked for you that you're still sticking with? Because not everything, you throw the darts, right? They don't all stick. So they go in all ranges of the dartboard when you throw those darts, when it's personal or business or whatever it is. So what has worked for you? Let's give an example. And how and why did you have that work? Kind of good tonight with questions, huh? Good, Marla.
Oh, I'm going to say, I just heard from my former sister-in-law that she is now going vegan, and it's been a number of years. But she said that one thing that I told her, and that's what I tell all people who come to me when they're wanting to go in that direction, is I think the thing that screws us up is to think in like success failure dualities, because it's like, if you mess up on Friday night, like too often the overcorrect is to just binge all weekend, So what I tell people is to take every meal as it comes, and like every successfully vegan meal, especially, at the beginning when it really is kind of touch and go, really, notice it and affirm it and take acknowledgement of it. It's just like, just look at one meal at a time. Because I think another thing that screws people up is to think too far in the future, imagine scenarios like, what am I going to do when my mom comes to town? What am I going to do on Thanksgiving? Or, but like the reality is that you can handle it one meal at a time, and that includes Thanksgiving, and that includes this and that. And so I tell people to focus on one meal at a time. And then the other thing I tell people, because I think it's so important, is to find a supportive community. So that's all I'll say.
But what has worked for you? Do you have an example of what has worked for you, Marla?
Do you mean what has worked for me in terms of vegan?
Like what is a change that you made? And then how did you do it?
Oh,
right? Do you have an example of that?
Yeah. So thinking in terms of, instead of resolutions, thinking about new habits, so until it just becomes ingrained. So like every day now I start out my day, and it has been for 3 or 4 years now, with yoga. And I started that before my husband had leukemia. And thank God I had started that practice, because it saw me through it, and I haven't missed a day in all that time. But the point is, I think that one of the things that helps a lot is to make it easy. It's like, roll out of bed, do yoga. I'm not like driving to the gym and doing this and like I'm doing it at home, because I know a deal breaker for me is a lack of convenience. A deal breaker for me is too much time, so I try to eliminate the deal breakers and make it as easy as possible. So there you
go. That's great. I think I saw Ellen first, then Kelly.
So I think what helps people stay with any change that they make is to visualize it. We're such visual beings. So was it the movie that upset you? Was it the book you read that you had an aha moment? Just keep returning to whatever it is your initial reason for wanting to change is. And, it can be something you stick on the fridge to remind you. I attended a sales webinar today, and this is just one of my favorite sayings, and it really does cross the line beyond sales, but done is better than perfect. And just figuring out how you can do what it is you want to do. Like Marla said, you don't have to get this big gym membership. It can be as simple as just watching the little personal trainer on your phone, or, the yoga poses. I remember when I did yoga at home for the very same reason. I had like this was before computers, flashcards, and they came in a box, and, you would just go through them and imitate the pose. So, finding simple ways to incorporate the change into your life so that it doesn't seem like a big deal. Those are all, I think, really important things to remember.
And what was something that worked for you?
For a change that I had, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just easy. It's always been mom, aunt, both sisters had breast cancer. I was by my sister's side when she was puking her guts out from chemo. And this was back in the day, when they didn't have the kinds of good treatments and very specialized treatments that they have now. So it's just kind of the terror of, I don't want to go through that if there's any way to avoid it. And that was very motivating, and it still is to this day.
Yeah. Thank you. Kelly?
I'm giving this advice, and I have to admit, I don't practice what I preach because I'm very, very hard on myself. But that was going to be my thing, is to not be hard on yourself, to be kind on yourself. When you do miss it, because life happens, and yeah, I think when you allow yourself to be too hard on yourself, then you could just get that. It could just go the opposite end, where it's like, I just can't do it, and then you can even develop worse habits out of it. But for me personally, I put things on my calendar on my phone because that's where I'm on the most. And again, like, I miss it, but it's there, and and it's another day. And if I miss something, it's on my calendar for tomorrow. But my son uses this app, and I can't remember the name of it, but he keeps telling me to go on it, which I am going to download it because he uses it. And it is like an app that's gamification for your habits. So you can put in anything, and it could be like, drink 5 cups of water a day, or drink a cup of water a day, whatever it is. And he puts these little things on it, that, yeah, they might seem insignificant, but they're not. And it's a game where, like, if you do achieve it, you get like, these virtual gold coins, and if you don't, like, you lose them. And it's sort of like a fantasy, sort of D&D, I think, type app, but that funness of the app helps motivate them. So I would suggest finding, I know there's probably tons of apps out there that offer something similar, so that would be a suggestion for me too.
Is there something personally that's worked for you that you've had happen that you've stuck with? Is there something that for you personally that you've done, that you've created into a habit that you've stuck with?
No, probably not.
It's a good show for you then.
But for this year, we went to a friend's place on January 1st, and she eats Whole Foods plant-based, and she made us a Whole Foods plant-based meal, and it tasted so good. And I felt so amazing that, again, not a resolution, but just like, I do want to focus on my health, and I have, and not, setting huge goals or whatever, just that mindfulness of my health. And because we've had deaths in the family in the last month, that, and like, yeah, when someone, whether it be cancer or a heart attack or whatever, it definitely shakes you into motion of like, exactly, I don't ever want to experience that. So I'm going to do what I can to make sure that I minimize that risk. So that's what I've been focusing on by being mindful of my food habits.
Awesome. Sovereign?
remembering to eat,
Mm.
trying to organize more and not be as stressed. The last time that we spoke, I was in a happier mood, and unfortunately, I'm dealing still with, for lack of a better word, shitty actions from a shitty person. And it's kind of been taking a mental toll. So when normally that happens, I overwork myself and pile up a lot of things because it's just a continual fight or flight. And then I forget to eat. Also, having ADHD doesn't help that at all because I would just stare at the fridge and stare at food. But I'll make sure that the kids eat and realize that coffee is not a food. De-stressing, changing my mindset to know that you're not a bad person, that the actions of others and putting your boundaries up, and that it's okay to say no and not tolerate disrespect from anybody. And know that because one person didn't think you were worthy doesn't mean someone else won't. It's a big struggle. It's a real big struggle. But I'm working on that, trying to, even if it's 5 minutes, just to stand outside and take a breather. Setting a timer to know to drink water, setting a timer to know to eat something. Because health is important. It's if I can't keep my health in order, I have 2 little ones that look after me. So that's what I'm working on. It's been more challenging than ever. Just way more challenging than ever. But that's my goal, not my resolution, but just my goal. Yeah.
And you do
Can I
know
say-
that you're incredibly strong, because that's the person that I've met and know, and that will help carry you and the support of the people that love you. Marla?
I just wanted to say, I think it's so incredibly brave to be present for yourself in ways that you might not necessarily have ingrained habits to do, or to show up. That, a lot of times I know myself, I feel like I've always got to be cheerful. I've always got to be upbeat, and that's just probably something I put on myself, to know your intrinsic worth, no matter what vicissitudes life, whatever life sends your way, that you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. But and I know I don't know you in person, Sovereign, but you mean a lot to me, and I care a lot about you, as I care about everyone here. And I don't know, it's just been on my mind a lot, the importance of mental health and taking care of ourselves. And you mean a lot to me, and I'm sure that's true of everyone here. And I'm glad that it's so courageous to stand up for yourself in ways that same to you, Kelly, same to everyone. It's just, you are inspiring to me. So thank you for being here.
And for being here tonight, because you're clearly not happy tonight. And I know typically you would not come. So the fact that you came and you're on camera says a lot. So thank you. And we're your support system. We're your weekly tune in, and just because everyone else is watching and listening, you see us. So we're glad that you're here and part of this.
Thanks,
Dr.
guys. I love you
Shayla.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Really, I think you all have brought it home. But the main thing really is your why. I find that um, when I have a purpose and I remember what that purpose is, I know, even when I ran my first 5K years after I had my first son right after, and I had never been a runner, but I wanted to get healthier for my kid. I had just had this baby, and I wanted to be healthier, and so I set this goal. I said I'm going to run a 5K, and it turns out it actually snowed on the day that I had for the race that I picked. And so my husband, he said, it's not ideal conditions for this first 5K. You can really put it off and not do it. But I said, nope, I'm going to do it. I had my mindset. I had already planned. I knew I wanted to do it as this, start. I had been training so that I can get myself healthier. I was feeling great. And I did. And, after that, I went on and did more and more races and longer distances. But really, it started as to that why, and me remembering that why and focusing on that, and knowing that I really wanted to complete that goal. Time.
That's awesome. And that's a big feat, from 5K to anything longer. Well, Ellen knows. That's what all those medals are. But it's, for some people that 5K is a couch to
5K.
walking to the
Exactly.
Yeah, so walking from the house to the end of the block and back is how they start to get to the point where they even are able to walk a mile and then walk 3.2 miles or even further, or even begin to run. It's
Right.
very indicative. How did as babies we took our first steps. We are continuously taking those first steps over the course of our lives. And that first step is really important for whatever it is that we're choosing to take that first step towards or away from. It's not always towards. It could be to the side as well. So for me, like, obviously none of us do resolutions, which is pretty awesome. There are a whole line like that. But the thing for me, one habit that I picked up and I did not put down, I mentioned it earlier, is flossing my teeth. Seems kind of benign. However, it's incredibly important. A lot of health issues happen with your mouth not being taken care of. So I think it was when I moved back to New York. So I've been here almost 12 years, and that was 7. So like 19 years ago, I just said, I'm going to floss my teeth every night now. And I haven't looked back because I can count on one hand the amount of times I've not flossed my teeth over those 19 years.
Right.
Whatever that was, I fell asleep. It doesn't feel right. And and I know how important it is. I wish everything that is important took on this has taken on for me. But I I'm afraid of the dentist. I have like issues that stem from my childhood, from my oldest brother. He traumatized me. I guess tell you, we were driving in the car on Long Island. The dentist was in somebody's home. So that's very common at home offices. So we were driving past the dentist, and my brother says to me, I was probably 5, and that would make him, well, that's he was driving, so I was probably like 7, I guess. So it would make him 18 at the time. And he says, has the dentist shaved your teeth yet? And I said, what? And he was like, has the dentist shaved your teeth yet? And I was like, no. And he said, well, I guess he'll do it next time. And I didn't go back. And I'm not joking. I was 7. I didn't go back to the dentist, and no family member said you need to go to the dentist, which is a whole other story. But I didn't go back. So obviously that led to issues with my teeth when I got a bit older. And it leads to horrible cleanings if you don't go to the dentist, which I do consistently. Outside of COVID, I consistently went to the dentist. I was at the dentist on Monday this week. So I still don't like it. And I clearly probably brought on worse things for my dental health because as a child I made a decision to not do something that really wasn't my decision to make. As
Right.
you look back and reflect, because a 7-year-old doesn't make those types of decisions. However, in my family, that's how it worked. So that, and I never had my teeth shaved. And it's never happened to me.
That was going
So
to be my question.
I was like, it's never, I would, but I don't know if he did it to mess with me because I was he's 11 years older. So I don't know if he did it
Yeah.
to mess with me or if it really happened. But
That's got like
yes.
all the Big Brother vibes to it. I don't think it was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if he understood. I think he ended up helping pay some of those dental bills when I was like a young adult after our parents weren't alive. I'm pretty sure it was a friend of his the dentist I went to. He took care of some of those bills. Maybe he felt guilty.
When I
But
was,
that's why
yeah,
yeah.
I was just gonna say when I was probably like 7 or something, I was on a camp bus, and the girl who was sitting next to me told me that if you swallow a watermelon seed, it's going to grow in your stomach, and then the vine is going to come out of your mouth. And I did not touch watermelon for many, many years, even though it would stand to reason that we'd see a lot of people with like, watermelon vines coming out of their mouths. But that stuff can really get internalized, right? And now
Yep.
I love watermelon, but I had to get over that threshold.
Yeah. It used to be too. I had heard if you'd swallow bubble gum, it'll make your stomach explode. I think that was an elementary one too. Yeah.
Ooh, oh my
That I never
Well,
fell for that
Pop
one.
Rocks. Pop Rocks. That, do you guys put them in your mouth? Like that's how Mikey from the Life commercial died. Or, I don't know. Just like it's so lucky that we're past that era of urban legends, isn't it? Just kidding, QAnon. But that was the whole thing, wasn't it? Like Pop Rocks would make your mouth explode or your heart explode or something. I don't know, but it's so funny how that worked.
And they still exist today. Pop
Yeah.
Rocks. They still exist.
Yeah,
I don't think they're
it will
vegan.
it will make your heart explode, and it just made me do it with pop. When I was little. And I was like, "Is this a challenge? All right, well, let's see."
Yeah,
If it works.
right. Give me all the popcorn.
I survived. I should make a shirt. The 80s were fantastic, and 90s were great.
Right. Sovereign's like, I'm
Evan is-
still here.
I'm still here. I'm still ticking. Evan has a question. What affirmations have resonated with y'all? I've had a hard time finding apps, websites, etc. Any recommendations?
I've got a
So I'm gonna throw
recommendation
that
for
at
you.
Sovereign. Go
There's
ahead,
an app.
Shayla.
There's an
Guys,
app
I
like.
have to hop
It's called-
onto my next call, but the Dr. McGregor has the Daily Dozen. That's a great app, I think. Just thought I'd say that before I sign out, but I can't find the tab to get out of the meeting here.
You go to the duck head.
Bottom that says leave studio at the bottom.
Bye, Ellen.
The
We love you.
I love you too. More next week. Sorry.
Go to the duck head. Just click on the duck head.
I have 200 tabs open.
It's
Upper
in
left
this one.
corner.
It's in this one. It's actually in StreamYard.
I was on StreamYard, but I didn't see it. I did get there. But I'll figure it out. Sorry. I'm very sorry.
Hope Ellen leave. And she'll be gone in a second.
Find it. What do you guys do for affirmations? What do you guys do for affirmations?
Yeah. So the
I
app
write
is
my own.
the app is called I Am. For the person that asked the question, it's just called I Am. But what it does is it gives you affirmations multiple times a day, and they go right to your phone, and you can put it as like your home screen on your phone. And a lot of them are really good. And if it's something that doesn't resonate with you, you can actually open it up and keep flipping it. It's like thousands of them that are there. Like the one that just popped up right now, it says, I find new ways to improve the quality of my life. But it gives you just a lot of them. I've even posted some recently. I'll put it to Facebook if I feel like it's something that's helpful for other people too when they come up.
Very cool.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
I
Sovereign,
just-
since you do them.
I used to go and look and find. I Am is a really good app. I have that on my phone. That's laughter in there. I have started like writing my own. So, and saying I am or I have, that has been attained or retained already. And then writing that, like journaling it 7 times. And saying them 7 times in the morning, saying them 7 times at night. I have to get back into that habit of doing it. But when you do, it's implanted. Sometimes pulling it from an app or going onto a website, sometimes they feel like they semi-connect. So I try to write my own around if I'm feeling like I discussed and having some issues with self-worth. So writing something like, I am worthy of being here. I am worthy of affection. I am worthy of love. You know, I am receiving it this date, or I am receiving it this way. And just keeping a record, like even like a spreadsheet, you know, and sharing the ones that if they work or they've clicked and I feel like they are actually, I'm giving those power instead of the feeling or negative feeling, then I absolutely love to share those. But I write my own. Sometimes I let the kids kind of dictate what I write, because if they have joy, so if they're joyful, just naturally happy, then I will be like, I'm full of joy, and just try to feel a part of what they're feeling. So I feel like writing, you know, I've seen some on TikTok too, like a really, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that bitch. I mean, people, you know, they do whatever works.
Oh heck, I think
But
I'm
sometimes
gonna
even in
miss
song.
my.
Oh
I
no.
think I'm gonna miss my
Helen's
meeting.
gonna be here at midnight. It's like, that was gonna be the last
I'm so
one here.
sorry for interrupting.
There's a button
Sovereign, but
here where it looks like we can remove you from the stream.
Actually,
Have you
actually
all
we
don't
done
do
can.
it yet, because
Remove
you
you?
just you tripped something.
Yeah, she's gone.
Okay.
She gone.
There we go.
Do that.
I did it. I did it. I couldn't stand it
Oh,
anymore.
you moved her from the
there's-
street.
She's still
Wait,
there.
Ellen's talking.
She's still
So-
talking.
Not there.
Oh, there she
What are
is.
you saying, Ellen?
Oh, hi.
Oh shit, she's still here.
Am I still there? I have a question.
Yeah,
I
you're still
want to
here.
say something. So I
Okay.
also can't see you, so I don't even know if I'm on. Am I on?
You are. You most
You are.
definitely
Yeah.
I'm
are.
just going to finish this, and I'm going to go back. I'm probably just going to have to close everything to get
Yeah,
out of this.
just like quit.
But
Force quit.
so I have a vegan affirmation video that I haven't made public yet. I've done all the affirmations, and I'll let you know when it's up. But people have said, you ought to use your broadcasting voice to do this stuff, because there are so many. If you Google "I am," as I'm sure Sovereign knows, I mean, you can, and I've fallen to sleep listening to those same kinds of things. And they go on for some of them go on for hours. Not that you would want that, but yeah, I think they are very helpful. Just but nobody's really done any vegan ones. So, I mean, there are a few out there, but they're just sort of not a lot of views. So I think that would be helpful, because there's just a whole lot of vegan affirmations we ought to be making to make us just reinforce what we already know and feel. Okay, where's the duck head?
That's awesome. Do you
Sorry.
want me to remove you from here?
Yeah,
we
why
can-
don't you do that? Take me out of my misery.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Um, So I was
It
just
doesn't
going to
mean that
mention.
Ellen's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. I thought I had removed her before, but she came back like Freddie or whatever. Jason. So as I was going to mention that I think I did that the affirmation I do is not so much an affirmation as an intention that I set every day, and it has evolved over the years, and it's kind of wordy, but I do it I've committed it to memory, and this is what works for me, and it feels like I have all my bases covered. And so it might sound cheesy, but this is my affirmation. May the thoughts, words, okay, so I only do it on my yoga mat, so it's hard to remember it when I'm May the thoughts, words, and actions of my life today be tuned into source, be guided by my angels, be fueled with love and trust, and be for the most benefit of me and all beings everywhere. And so to me, I feel like that sets the tone for my day. And I think it's for your mileage will vary according to what your goals are.
That's awesome. Sovereign, do you want to finish your thought? Or is it past?
That was hilarious. She she mentioned doing recordings, and sometimes that actually does work to have it like YouTube, especially like has it where you can do it for a lengthy period of time.
You're welcome.
Okay. The there are a lot of things I've seen on TikTok where there are actual musicians that are making songs with affirmations in them. Okay, good night. With affirmations in them or with good intentions set to them, which is really great because you know, just lately for for everyone, it's been rough. This year does seem like it is going to have some, you know, be a better year, but it's going to be a rough beginning. And affirmations and the intentions behind it, whatever feels best for you, whatever app. Again, I am is a really, really good app. Even positive songs, because those themselves, you can feel those and take those in. So songs that make you, you know, happier, bring you to light, or give you strength and give you power, however that you find any meanings to. But definitely affirmations that start with I am instead of I will, you know, set that you already have it or you already feel it. And I'm getting back into it. Just drilled off a little bit, but yeah, they really do help a lot. Really do. Vegan ones would be interesting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe you can collaborate with Ellen, who's still down there, about this. Can't get on another video call if you can't get off the current video you're on. Which is really, really funny. So, okay. So I guess this was great. I think I'm the only one. I don't know, Kelly. I don't do affirmations, so I think I might be the only one out of us. You don't do them either?
No, I'm supposed to be doing like a gratitude list every day. My therapist, like I've had a couple therapists, you know, suggested, and it always seemed hard for me. I was just found myself like repeating the same things, and then it just discouraged me. Like I don't have a lot of worth. I can't find worthy things in my life, and so my therapist now like kind of gave me like a different approach to it. But for me, it's about accountability. Like if I don't have accountability, it's so easy to go back into my own habits or ignore the notification on my phone or whatever, right? So I think like that's my biggest thing is I really need to find an accountability buddy. I just downloaded the I Am app, so hopefully.
Awesome. Meanwhile, Ellen is still there while you're like putting the app on your phone. That's hysterical.
Yes, you all can't see her, but we can see her. So she
Hey,
wants to be
Kelly,
on the
can
show.
I know that you're
Yeah.
not looking for suggestions, but I also I know that a daily gratitude practice is not always the easiest or feels the most sincere sometimes, because it's like, I am grateful for good food. I am grateful for, this and that. One of the things that I started practicing after hearing this man who wrote a book on it talk about it is just find one thing every day to delight in, and it could be the smallest little thing. I delighted today in petting my cat. I delighted today in the sunset. I delighted today in my little walk. Whatever it is, just find something to really delight in, and it doesn't have to be like you're grinning like ear to ear like an idiot. But I did find that if I took the pressure of that daily gratitude thing and just like, I'm going to find, that it just naturally started showing up in my life of things to delight in. So it's a different way around, a way to the same kind of effect.
Mhm.
I'm like you, Kelly. I need accountability. That's what motivates me and keeps me going. And when I have that, it's like putting out there what I plan to do so that you can hold me to it later when I say that I'm going to do it, as opposed to an excuse as to why I didn't do it, which I'd probably have a good one if I didn't do it. But most of the time, if I put something out publicly, oh, I'm going to do it. And if you tell me I can't do something, watch out. I mean, I was told by a guy. I was told by a guy in college that I would never graduate from college. I was told, I was told by an ex-boyfriend, that starting Veg Fest was a bad idea when I
I
started.
was told I'd never stay as a vegan.
Oh, every single one of us. I mean, when I went vegetarian, I didn't eat vegetables. So my family was like, we'll see how long this lasts. And I was, 16, 15, I was 15, I guess, whatever I was, 18, whatever I was. So, and it's like, okay, challenge accepted. I think
People are doing
I
your
just
favor when
graduated
they
from college.
do
Yeah,
that.
people don't understand. They see me and people see you in little pieces of your life and don't really get to know who you are. If anyone who said those words to me actually understood me, they would know that they are 100% wrong. When I put my mind to something, I do it. Like Shayla, I did a full marathon. So in Hawaii, no less, and raised money for the American Stroke Association. So I did the full
Awesome.
26.2 miles. And
Yep.
it was hellish. But in the bedroom downstairs, my finishing picture is on the wall. It took
That's right.
8.5 hours.
Yeah.
I walked for 8.5 hours in Hawaii in hot weather and hot lava roads.
But fast or
To the
slow,
point-
you did 26.2 miles, and so
Yeah.
that's a lot more miles than tons of other folks that have done.
1% of the population completes a full marathon. And next time you're in your car, mark out how far 26.2 miles is, and then think about walking it. It's far.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. But
You guys, I
know-
have to go. I'm sorry.
okay, let's close it out. Thank you, everybody. Let me put you into the green room and say thank you, Sovereign. Thank you, Marla. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Shayla. And thank you, Ellen, who's still there. And thank you. Thank you for joining us for our first show of 2023. And we hope that you'll join us for all our future shows, like next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for a topic that is to be determined, because I don't know what it is yet. You may start for them to prove them wrong, but you continue to do for yourself. That is right, Cindy. Yeah, that is true. And thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. We'll see you next week. If you like prizes, go to virtualvedresslive.com and hit the contest tab, enter to win some of our cool 10 prizes that we'll be giving away at the end of the month. And thank you to Total Body Lab for sponsoring our lives this month. And support all of us. You see in the little scrolling ticker, it says what all of us do. So go like and share and follow and all our social media because we all got stuff going on. We will see you next week. Have a great night.